Hello everyone, welcome to another video. I'm Wibbert and this is one of my builds. Yesterday I kind of tried to do this build, but the game crashed at the moment where I was almost done, and I just took a break because I don't know how long it took me, but yeah, so I'm just gonna do a build that I kind of practiced yesterday, I guess. And what I wanted to do here is height. Let's pick this one. Let's make the other one the same height. I'm gonna need to do some puzzle pieces, and let's think of an interesting shape. I guess it could round off like that. And then I think it's gonna be a bit deeper, and then over here is gonna be the stream, so that means I'll need at least one piece there. I think maybe this is the shape of the little pond. Maybe it should be a bit bigger. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And there's gonna be some steeper hills over there, but that's fine by me. And now I'm gonna look for to continue this height, but without making it derp out the terrain too much. So that's pretty much a guaranteed. Yeah, I think I might do something like that and then just go like that. And I wonder, yeah, let's do something like that. Alright, now when you have planned out a little bit of an area like that, it's probably smart to just put the corners in first, so that's what I'm gonna do now. And I had the idea, I didn't pronounce the idea or announce the idea, but I had the idea of doing a little bit of a divot in here, and then those are corners as well. Now let's do the inner corners. There's gonna be an inner corner. Well, those are gonna be different, but that's gonna be an inner corner, that and that. So let's do these first, which are the transitions from pond into stream. And yeah, they don't really look like a corner in the thumbnail. I don't think you pronounce the P or the B. It's a B. I don't know why I said P. It's not my first language, alright. I think that's all the inner corners. So now there's there was another corner over there that I forgot earlier. Now it's a bunch of straight bits and that one corner that I forgot. And making a pond out of puzzle pieces like this doesn't always result in a shape that you would like to see. For instance, this might look very weird, and I would say that it looks kind of weird, but there's ways to mitigate the weirdness, I guess, by using some props or some flora kind of assets to reshape the pond a little bit. So we have a little bit of a pond here, and for the empty water I do have lily pads. I think lily pads like that might make the most sense, but now they're exactly the same, so I'll rotate one of them maybe like that. It looks a bit more random. Okay, so now we have a general shape, and the first thing I'm gonna do is use some rocks, and I'll put links in the descriptions for the rocks that I'm using. So I have these flat rocks, which look okay, I think, and you can stack them pretty well, but if you stack them too much, they start to glitch out like that. You might see a little bit of a glitch over there already, and there's also ones without moss, and I think these also start to glitch when you, but sometimes they just look pretty cool. and I think a mix of these two types of rock. So you just click, make a short drag, maybe that's the technique, because now they don't glitch as much, and when you do something like this then they start to glitch. So okay, I accidentally put one over there, but that's fine. You can always click one again and it might change shape, and now yeah, so this one doesn't glitch too much, and it's not really too much in the way, because I might just reshape that whole area a bit with the rocks. So there's these rocks that I can use, and there's also the other ones which have a bit of a different color. Well, let's show them side by side. There was these. Oh, that's not too much of a different color. They're a little bit wider maybe. So there's 3 different sizes of those other rocks. And the large ones really glitch out very fast, so you'd want to minimize their overlap maybe. So let's just start doing something with these rocks. And I'm just gonna start on this side. I think I'll use some of these medium rocks. You don't want to do like a very regular spacing pattern, because then it just looks very unorganic, and you might want to use these to, okay, that looked a bit weird, to change the shape of the riverbed a bit, and to start to create some, yeah, I don't know, some changes in the shape. But this is not the most defining part of the shape of this riverbed, and that's gonna be mostly the plants. I think the plants have the largest impact, and there's a couple of plants that I'm gonna use. I don't think it looks good to use these over there, for instance, because it just looks like a rock that should have rolled down the hill already. But near the edge I think they might look okay. And I'm just setting myself up to make a bit of a mix of different rocks here. So what I'm putting down now doesn't have to look finished or very good. Yeah, so this shape looks a bit weird to me, so I'm gonna put some rocks to make this maybe a bit smoother. And yeah, this is also a bit weird. Just doesn't look like the way water would move in real life. So I'm just trying to find the flow of the stream, and I think maybe it's more like that. Maybe it's just a small stream over here. Maybe it's more like that, and then something like that maybe. So that's my first step. Now I'm gonna use some of these gray flat rocks to hide maybe some of these brown banks that I'm seeing here. Let's see how they look in the water. Yeah, they look pretty bad. For some reason they glitch out a lot. So I'm gonna delete this corner and put it down again. And maybe reapply some of those round rocks that I was using before. And maybe this is more of such a shape area. So the flat rocks look better on the land. And what I did last time was coat this hill a bit like this, but I did it in a very thorough way or something. I think this looks kind of interesting, but okay. Yeah, you do see the glitches over there, so I'm gonna try and do that without it glitching a lot. So by carefully placing them down and just not have them overlap too much. Now let's turn off the grid to maybe hide the contrast between the background and the foreground. And I'm gonna try to use these maybe to make this riverbed look. So I'm gonna need to use round rocks on the riverbed there as well, because these just don't really work that well. And you don't have to, or what I'm looking to do is not necessarily place too many of these, because I kind of think it would look better to have some mossy rocks, and I think it would make sense for this to make a bit of a diagonal shape over there, maybe. I don't know where these rocks came from, but they are there. And maybe I'm not doing this very fast or whatever, but I'm just gonna relax and put some rocks down. So that's that for those. Let's do some of the mossy rocks, maybe over there a bit. And maybe something like that, whatever. So they have a... Okay, that's the same shape twice. They have a lot of different shapes. That looked a bit weird. That looks better. I think you don't have to agree. They have a lot of different shapes, these rocks, so you can make some pretty random looking things. And it's not like you're... I'm gonna use some more mossy rocks near the water here, because that would make sense to me. I think that looks alright. So near the waterfall. Okay, let's maybe add some round rocks here and there for some variation, and if I'm going to use them in the water over here, that might make more sense. Maybe use a big rock here at some point. This is the big rock, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Maybe a couple of big rocks. Yeah, cool. Yeah, maybe something like that. Looks pretty random. And then maybe there's a medium rock over there. So now this looks a lot less like a bunch of puzzle pieces over here. And maybe a bit more like a bunch of random rocks stacked on top of each other. But whatever. Okay. I don't know if this looks good. I'm gonna be adding some plants, so let's just do a bit of a test run with some plants as well. I do know that I have these cattails, seasonal cattails, but let's wait until it's like September in the game, because that's when the seasonal plants are calibrated. So they do plot nicely on the water. I just want a couple of them to show up in here, maybe. So it helps to zoom in, but I'm at the closest zoom right now. So okay, that's some cattails. Feather grass is really hard to place, so I'm probably not gonna see any of them show up. It has a bit of a big footprint. For instance, there it does show up. It looks nice though. It looks very nice, I think. It looks very soft. Let's do some seasonal spiraxis. I don't know what those are, but I do know that they turn into colorful flowers. So let's just sprinkle some of those around. Maybe over there. And I do have some other things that I might use here. I could use some of this brown rye grass maybe, just to add some more colors or something. I don't know, might look weird to have such a splotch over there. Yeah, it's fine. I misclicked, I just wanted to delete this one. Yeah, so now, yeah, it's whatever. Okay, so this is one of the ideas I had, and then I did all this decoration. Now I'm just gonna use some of these feather grass at first, the seasonal one, and I think little splotches like that make sense. So I'm gonna try to get that to pop up here and there. And maybe there's a bit of a open area there with some more feather grass. So something like that, and then maybe put some cattails. I'm gonna keep it kinda light on the foliage, on the amount of cattails and stuff I'm gonna put down, I think. Because yesterday I did it pretty heavy and it looked a bit crowded. So I'm just gonna do it maybe something like that. And now since this side has so much, maybe I'll use a bit less on the other side. I still have some other plants made by a French guy that I kind of want to use there. There's like a water flora pack or something like that. So we have these are also cattails, but of course they're made by a different model, so they look different. I don't think they look as crisp as these. I don't know, for some reason they look okay, but I don't know. But I do like these a lot. They look very much like real plants to me. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some of those around maybe. Maybe something like that. So I'm now using the small ones. Whenever I see an area where I think it might make sense to have a few more, for instance this area, I'm gonna also use some of the big ones. The grandes. Like in Starbucks, I think it's called a grande. I think all the words for Starbucks drink sizes mean big, but I guess, I don't know. Tall means long, I guess. Well, it means long in English. I don't know if it's because the other ones are like a non-English word, I guess. Maybe tall also isn't an English word. So now you still see a bunch of water in here. Maybe that's alright. But I accidentally clicked there. But I think it's fine. Yeah, since I have these lily pads, I'm not gonna use the other lily pads. I think I'll do a mix of the two grass colors around here, maybe. And I'm gonna use a lot of trees also to fill this area out a bunch and to make it all a bit more... Okay, it won't really work on the water, but it will work around the water. I think it blends in the terrain a bit more to use this. And I'm not just gonna use the green one, I'm gonna use the green one at first, and then I'm gonna use some of the brown one to add some accents maybe here or there, because I think they look pretty nice together. And they're all very subtle. When you zoom out, you don't really see very strong effects from either of those. Maybe something like that, and then something like that. So let me just rotate the camera the wrong way around. I want it to look like that. I accidentally zoomed out, which was what caused the crash last time. I think that already looks pretty good. I think I do want to add some small rocks because I've only used the medium and large ones, and I'm saving now, so the game is just not running right now. And I think I like this gentle wiggle over there. Okay, so saving the game causes these to glitch out sometimes. The best way to fix that is to go over here into water mode I believe. No, it was zone. Go into zone mode, because zone mode somehow, going in and out of it, it redraws all the textures, and that transparent texture glitch, it has something to do with transparent textures or whatever. I don't know. It's a glitch. You can go into zone view and back. It does cause your game to freeze potentially for a while, like it did there. Now I think I'm just gonna add some trees first, and I'm gonna start with the largest trees and just maybe sprinkle some of those around. I've been talking about sprinkling things around a lot, but whatever, sometimes you just have words that you like to use or tend to use without thinking. So that's this side. Maybe let's see if a tree will pop up around here. Okay, not really. So let's sprinkle some over here, because yeah, this is not very dense forest. I don't know, I'm not gonna reforest the entire map, because I don't think it's worth it. But I'll do this bit. Add some walnut trees, because they are also pretty big sometimes. And they add some more color. They have a bit more brighter colors than the brownish colors. They are a bit more yellow and orange. And since this is probably a nice view for like a screenshot or whatever, I'm gonna try to line that a bit more especially. And then I'll go and add some rowan trees. These are very small trees compared to the other ones, but they do have the nice red color. And I'm trying to be a bit random, but I don't know. You have to hover over an area a bit for the rowan trees to grow a bit taller, so I tend to just put them down in little splotches like that. Maybe that's enough. And I forgot to do the... Let's just do a big line over here of rowan trees. And then maybe a couple over there near the cliff. I forgot to do the walnut trees over here. That's what I wanted to say. And it's kind of easy to overdo it with the trees. I don't know what a forest would look like from this angle, so I'm not really sure what overdoing it would look like either. And I'm zooming in a bit for this, and I'm just trying to be a bit random and leave some space for... Okay, I did a bit of a testing area for the stones there. Okay, I won't delete. And, well, okay, it's whatever. Random stones happen in real life as well. And I do want to have a bit more of a line like that. Maybe open area there, some trees over there. But these are relatively small trees. Okay, I zoomed out again. I'm not... Yeah, it's a scroll wheel. I sometimes just accidentally touch it. I think that might look a bit better. Okay, let's do some alpine trees. Or... yeah, I don't know. I think they're all alpine trees. But these are the evergreen spruces. Yeah, they just look like pretty standard yeah, I don't know what the English word is, but yeah, needle trees I guess might be a way to describe them. So I'm just trying to make a bit of a mixed forest here. And I think this looks alright. Let's rotate the camera a bit. Maybe think about this area a bit. Maybe I'll use some seasonal plants over here. And then maybe some of the wildflowers. And then there's two colors. This is the one of them has a B in the name, which is the bright one. I guess that's the way you're supposed to be able to remember it. And I guess this must be the bright blue one then, with a less bright one. And I think that looks okay. I do think this still looks a bit weird. I'm gonna try to put some trees in here. Let's try with maybe some of these. Okay, there's a nice little tree there. Maybe no, they won't go. I think those are a bit too noticeable. Yeah, some more trees. Yeah. Okay, so that's this. I think the waterfall still looks a bit weird. And I was talking about maybe adding some small rocks. I'm gonna use some of the medium, those are peg rocks. These are the one. I think they're made by the same one who made those water plants, by the way. And it's kind of hard to see with all the mist, but I'm trying to hide the brown texture that doesn't match the terrain mode that I'm using. So I'm gonna do that over here as well. The mist has an upside and a downside. I think the upside is that if the rocks tend to glitch, then it's not too obvious. The downside is that it's hard to see what you're doing maybe. But I think it's alright. It looks okay maybe. Maybe it looks okay. Okay, let's just sprinkle some over here. And start to work with some flat rocks. Maybe something like that. To keep it all a bit consistent with this area, I'm gonna also use those flat rocks over here. And I did notice yesterday, when I did my first attempt of this build, that some of this cliffside over here doesn't like any kind of rocks. I think it's a bit too steep. And well, it doesn't like it, it just won't accept any rock. That looks a bit derpy maybe. Okay. Whatever. At some point you're just overdoing it, I think. And I think I might have overdone it over there. I don't really have reference material for these kind of rock faces. I'm just doing something random to try something new. Please put a plant somewhere, maybe. Might also just be that the cliffs are too steep for these plants. I think those can be things that are limited. The Spiraxes are much more lenient in that regard. Maybe some more flowers over there. Maybe some over there. I think I'll try a big rock over there. As I scroll through my menu. Maybe something like that, and then why not put like a couple big rocks over here, maybe something that merges like that, and then can I fit? Okay, whatever. I'll use some small rocks to blend them in a bit. And so this is the area that doesn't really like any kind of stuff, but it's fine. I think the base cliff's texture looks pretty, and this is another one of those areas. The base cliff texture is pretty much as good looking as anything that I'm putting down with these, but I'm still gonna put them down. Okay. Because I think it's interesting to try and mold your own cliff face with some flat rocks and whatever. Maybe, yeah, that looks better. Put some mossy rocks in here and there, though maybe it doesn't make too much sense to have them up there. Maybe more up around here, maybe, with the water line. Okay, I think that's fine. This looks a bit weird still, so I'll put some of the rye grass maybe. And I think I actually still want to add some of the wildflowers. But I'll start with the rye grass. I posted links for most of these mods in previous episodes. And if you want to know which mods this rye grass or whatever comes from, then just put a comment and I'll link it in the comment section. It's not a big deal, but yeah, I don't know. Don't really feel like copy pasting the same wall of text every video with all kinds of mods that I'm using into the description. I think a short description is a bit nicer, where people actually know what the video is about from what I write down, instead of just promoting all kinds of Facebook nonsense and stuff and having like a 3-page wall of text without really saying anything about the thing that you made and put on YouTube. I don't know. Yeah, I think I want to see what these wildflowers look like in here. Not so sure. Maybe around here. Somewhere around here. Okay, they won't go anyways. Oh, okay, that looks a bit like okay, it's fine. Maybe some over there. And since we have some over there, maybe they grow in between the rocks? No. Well, a little bit over there. I keep zooming and stuff, and I know that is what caused me to crash last time, so I'm just gonna save and cut out this time. Alright, so I saved. Yeah, and the terrain glitched again, but it's fine. There was another thing that I wanted to address here, and it's this house. But there's like a tunnel underneath it, and I think it breaks the imagination a little bit too much for me, so I'm gonna just put some pavement there. Still a bit weird that there's like grass on top of a bridge and whatever, but that's just SimCity things. Yeah, so now as for decorating, yeah, I do think I find that sufficiently annoying, the transparent textures, that I'm gonna do something about it by going into zones view. And now for decorating this little pond. So I'm gonna use some rocks first. I'm gonna maybe go a little lighter on the rocks, because this is closer to like residential areas where people would have like tried to make a nice embankment area. Though this, for instance, this bit, it does look a bit weird to me. I'm gonna try to change that shape a little bit, so I'm just gonna use some medium rocks again and try to smooth out the weird shapes maybe. Though I'm going pretty hard with these. Okay, I'll try to click a bit more lightly maybe. I think it's the dragging that also does it. Let's make this a very tiny stream. Oh. Can I just click it? I'm trying to make this into a very tiny stream. Maybe if I click... okay. I think that's kind of cool. So let's just do something like this, where it's just a very tiny cutesy stream, and then maybe put some small rocks here or there. Yeah, okay. And yeah, so it's a bit hard to control these rocks maybe, but that's just the way the game works, I think. But I think I like this idea of having a like pretty small kind of random shaped stream, a bit more than the standard shape of it. And doing this isn't because I don't like the mod that I'm using for these streams. I think this mod is actually intended to be used in a similar way, but then with the creator of this mod, or the team of this mod, also made a bunch of like paintable texture kind of things for decorating the ponds and the streams that are in this mod. Yeah, I think that looks alright. And I'm gonna put some plants down maybe. I might be overdoing it with the rocks, by the way. Trying to take it easy. So here there's two streams coming together, so maybe this is a bit bigger, so I'm just gonna use some plants on that side. And this is where the tiny stream ends, I think. Yeah, that looks alright to me. Let's start doing some plants. And I think I'm just gonna do the feather grass first for this general area. I'm not sure if I took the seasonal one. Seasonal, yeah. So let's just do some feather grass over here maybe. And I know it looks a bit random, the order in which I do these kind of things. Yeah, so as you can see, there's also built in with the Petmol bike paths that I made is the non-seasonal feather grass. All of the plants that come with that bike path are non-seasonal, I believe. I don't know if there's an option if I just didn't use the seasonal ones for some reason, but I think that might have been a mistake. But I haven't really looked into that recently because I was kind of satisfied with how it looks for me, and I didn't really get any requests for people that wanted to use it. And there's already other mods like that out there with similar ideas, also one with red bike paths. I'm not sure how it works, but I think it's pretty much the same idea and concept. So, and this bike path mod wouldn't be compatible with some of the others, because what I did was I just downloaded another mod and I changed the textures for the bike paths, so it's not really something that I kinda, because I'm not really a big modder or anything, and so I just did something that, I changed something for my own gameplay, and I haven't really addressed people that would give me like the identity codes that you'd need to make your own textures public and stuff, and I'm not even sure if that's yeah, okay, so I'm just gonna keep it like private for now, and if somebody really wants it, then I'll look into maybe trying to share it. I'm just gonna be very gentle with this, because I don't want it to completely fill in, but some of these, okay, it's plants, they don't stop the water altogether, they just provide some protection for some fish maybe, and maybe something like that. And yeah, let's just do some more decoration around this riverbed. It's not really a riverbed, of course, it's more like a small stream, maybe a mountain stream maybe. And yeah, so I connected this to the side of the city where the first city that I built in this region is located. So I'm gonna need to count out how far it is from like a reference point. For instance, I know there's a rail track nearby that also crosses that border, so I'm gonna count out how many how many tiles it's from that border, and then make it the same location on the other side, so that when I go into region view it doesn't just stop at the edge and seems to go on. Though I did apply some height changes, so I'm not sure how that's gonna look. I'm not sure, but and technically cattails are water plants, but these look fine pretty much anywhere. They just look like tall grass to me, so I think I might have also used them in the bike paths, but then of course the non-seasonal one again. And there's a little bit of an island, maybe there's some. I'm gonna try to change the shape of that, because it looks a bit too much like there's like two round, very round shapes near each other. So I think I'll do some of the medium rocks again, and maybe do something like I'm not sure how I think I'll do something. Oh, I accidentally touched the scroll wheel, and it's starting to get scary how bad I am at not touching the scroll wheel. It really looks a bit like a P, doesn't it? I don't know. Maybe this whole thing looks a bit weird. Let's make it like that, maybe. Okay. Yeah, something like that maybe. And try to fit some plants in here maybe. Now there's also gonna be a bunch of trees around here, so most of this work is maybe not even gonna be visible. I don't know yet. I'm not sure, and I'm gonna go back down to the French plants, because I think I've put enough of those cattails down, and I'm gonna go into the small one and like just sprinkle it around a bit too. Yeah, I haven't really done this water side yet, so I'm not gonna be bothering with it too much. And I think maybe over here there's like a bit of a denser area with rosogrão. And a herbe de pampa. And I guess I'm not sure which language it is, but I think it's French. And I guess pampa might mean swamp. So that would be swamp plants, but it might just mean marshlands or whatever. I'm not sure if there's even a difference between marshlands and swamps. Maybe marshlands is near the sea and swamps is not. Like one of them is Sweetwater. Is it called Sweetwater? Because in Dutch we call it the equivalent for Sweetwater. I can't remember if that's freshwater is the word. Yeah, I must have sounded super Dutch to a lot of Dutch people, and maybe even not so Dutch people, but whatever. So I kind of don't like the waviness, so I'm gonna try to break it up a bit by maybe just having it break it up a bit with some rocks maybe. And I might be overdoing it with the rocks still. I keep constantly asking myself if I'm overdoing it with the rocks, and I think I shouldn't worry about it too much. I think I'll do some of the yellow wildflowers and then the not so bright ones in this general area. Yeah, this is gonna be, so I'm gonna fill this out with the not so bright ones, because I think they have a pretty natural green color, and then add some accents with the brighter ones. For some reason I keep thinking that B would mean that they aren't bright, because yeah, it's like of course the B stands for bright. I already mentioned that before, but yeah, I would if I were to make a mod like that, I would first make the bright ones and then make the not so bright ones to supplement the bright ones. So that would be the B version in my mind. But yeah, I think the B just stands for bright, so that's just me being a bit confusing to myself. So I'm just using these wildflowers, they're called. I think they look pretty nice just in general areas. I might be using them too much, but they aren't very eye-catchy or whatever, but they do have a certain effect. I'm trying to make this waterline a bit more decorated with them, but they're pretty hard to place near the water. It's poking through the road a bit, but whatever. Maybe smooth this out a bit, I don't know. I'm just gonna put them down a bit, maybe something like that. Maybe this yellow patch is a bit weird, I don't know. To make it even weirder, I'm gonna do the same thing but with the blues. So, and the nice, I don't know if what bonnets look like in real life, but they have some occasional red flowers in them too. I think that looks okay. I think that looks okay, but I do think it needs a bunch more trees in this whole area. And once I've done the trees, I think it's time to call this an episode, because I don't know how long this has already lasted. And the shame, okay, I can put some trees around maybe. I don't know exactly how long this lasted. I maybe should have kept track of time as a professional, but I'm not a professional. Oh, I did want to mention, I finally hit 100, well finally, I hit 100 subscribers on YouTube. Yeah, that's a pretty big milestone in my opinion. Especially since I've only been doing this for like 5 months or something like that, maybe 4 or 5 months, something like that. So I want to thank everybody who liked my videos enough, because it's a fun hobby for me, and it's a lot more fun when people actually like to see the things that I make. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, with how yeah, that looks better. So these maple trees are a bit explosive, but yeah, I was talking about maybe one over there. Yeah, and this looks a bit too yellow. I'm gonna try. Yeah, so 100 subscribers, yippee yay! It's not like 1,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever, but you gotta start somewhere, and I think I don't know why people subscribe necessarily, but I think it's because they just like seeing the stuff that I make and want to be notified whenever there's new stuff that I make. Maybe try a little, it's a bit hard to place trees there. So thank anybody who took the time to subscribe. Yeah, it's not really like I'm making a career out of this or anything. I'm not making any money for doing these videos. But if you want to sponsor me, now. So it's just a hobby. I like playing this game, and I like to share the ideas and the builds that I make. So thanks anybody who showed their appreciation by subscribing, or just by commenting and whatever, leaving their likes. And this week I also posted a different kind of video. I started to do a bit of a playthrough of Factorio, which is a very different game, but it's also kind of similar in that it's very sandboxy. I don't know, I really like the game. The idea of the game is to build a big factory, because I think the story is that you like crash landed on an alien planet and your ship was torn to shreds, and now you have to use science and technology to eventually build a big giant rocket, and somehow that means that you won the game, even though your character doesn't get on the rocket. So I guess it's just for launching a satellite and establishing communication, and have maybe it was planned that you were landing on that planet and you're just on an exploratory mission, or maybe you're hired by some company that wants you to yeah, do some research on an alien planet, so that they can maybe make better McDonald's hamburgers or whatever the research would be used for. I don't know, but I think it's a fun game. It's a bit overwhelming. I try to keep it as underwhelming as possible to myself by just not forcing myself to go too fast and giving myself the time to make derpy builds without them being perfect ratio or whatever. Though most of the things I built so far were pretty well ratioed out. I think the grey rocks might look a bit weird when you look at it from here. I don't know. Maybe you just need to put more trees down. Okay, anyways, I think this is about the episode. Let's just put play. Let the cars move around and stuff. So this is pretty much the episode. So yeah, Victorio, fun game. If you don't know what it's about, I think I do a pretty decent explanation in the video. If you yeah, don't like the game, you just don't watch the video or whatever. Not sure if this area is really finished. I think I see some things that I'd like to change, but I'll do that off camera. For now, this has been the episode. I want to thank you all for watching and thank everybody who decided to subscribe. It doesn't really mean anything financially to me, but it does leave a message that of appreciation for the time that I've spent to make these videos and to share these builds. I hope you liked the video. I want to thank you all for watching and I'd like to see you again. Goodbye.